I used to think bad haircuts disappeared when your hair grew back. Then I turned 45 and realized some of them never actually leave you. This little cowlick ruined 3 years of my life. My mother knew it. My hairdresser knew it. Deep down, I knew it too. But in 1979, I thought determination could overpower biology. And that is how I walked into a suburban strip mall salon asking for the Dorothy Hamill wedge, and walked out looking like a hostile triangle. When Dorothy Hamill won Olympic gold, every girl in America wanted that haircut. Some girls wanted the medals, some wanted the skates. I wanted the hair. I was obsessed with it. I practiced the haircut before I even had it. I'd stand in front of the bathroom mirror pinning my hair underneath, trying to fake the shape. I sprayed it, curled it, folded it inward with my hands like somehow effort alone could change bone structure and genetics. My mother kept warning me. She said my face was too round for it. She said my cowlick would stick straight up. She said some hairstyles belonged to other people. At 19, that sounded less like advice and more like a personal attack. So one rainy Saturday, I drove to a place called the Hair Loft. Now, if you hear the words, hair loft, you probably are not imagining Olympic elegance. You're imagining nicotine-stained ceiling tiles and women named Brenda smoking behind the salon. And you'd be correct. Brenda looked at my magazine clipping for a very long time. Then she looked at my cowlick. Then she sighed. Not a normal sigh either. The kind of sigh mechanics make before giving you bad news about transmission damage. She said, "Honey, this haircut requires cooperation from the hair." That should have stopped me. Instead, I thought, she just doesn't understand my vision. Which is the exact thought people have right before disasters. Then came the first cut. There's a sound hair makes when 6 inches get chopped off at once. A thick, wet snip. Heavy. Permanent. And the second I heard it, I had this brief, horrifying realization. Oh no. I've committed. Halfway through, Brenda pulled out the clippers. That was the moment fear entered the room. Because clippers mean this is no longer a haircut. This is now a construction project. She kept spraying Aqua Net while trying to flatten the cowlick, but every time she pressed it down, it sprang back up like it had survival instincts. At one point, she actually stepped back and stared at my head in silence. Never a good sign. Finally, she spun the chair around and handed me the mirror. And there it was. The wedge. Except it was Dorothy Hamill's wedge. It looked sharper. Harder. More aggressive. I looked like a geometry problem. Or maybe a traffic cone, going through emotional difficulties. I smiled immediately. Not because I liked it. Because women are socially conditioned to lie in salons. I paid. I tipped her. I thanked her. Then I walked to my car, holding my neck perfectly still, because I genuinely believed sudden movement might make the whole thing worse. I sat in that parking lot for 20 minutes. First, I stared at myself. Then I touched the back. Then I laughed. Then I cried. Then I laughed again, because crying over a haircut felt ridiculous. Then I cried harder, because laughing made the wedge bounce. That night, I declared war on the haircut. I pulled out hot rollers, dippity-doo gel, a curling iron, 2 brushes, and enough hairspray to destroy migrating birds overhead. I burned my wrist. Burned my ear. Burned my forehead. At one point, the bathroom got so fogged with Aqua Net the smoke detector went off. My mother yelled through the door, "Linda, are you alive in there?" And honestly, emotionally, barely. The cowlick only became stronger. By midnight, the wedge no longer resembled Dorothy Hamill. It resembled a stale nacho chip attached to my skull. I wore hats for almost a month. In July. In Southern California. My boss asked if I was sick. I said yes. And technically, I was. You'd think that experience would cure me of trying to become other people. It didn't. 15 years later, divorced and temporarily living back with my mother, I signed up for adult recreational figure skating lessons because apparently humiliation has seasons. And during my very first recital, I looked out into the crowd and saw my mother sitting there with the exact same expression she had in 1979. Disappointed, but not surprised. I did one spin under those rink lights, while my sprayed hair remained completely motionless. Not one strand moved. That's when I realized the wedge had somehow become part of my personality, like emotional scar tissue with bangs. I'm 45 now. My hair is long again. The gray is coming in. The cowlick never left. And that old Dorothy Hamill magazine clipping is still taped beside my bathroom mirror. Not because I still want the haircut, because every time I see it, I remember that girl. That dramatic, stubborn, deeply delusional 19-year-old who wanted transformation badly enough to ignore every warning sign in front of her. Including her mother. Including the stylist. Including basic physics. She was ridiculous. But she was trying. And honestly, I miss her a little.